Hello guys, welcome back to another video. I just want to give you guys a heads up explaining that at the end of this video you're not going to see this car running with the Skunk2 throttle body. The reason is because there was a malfunction with the throttle body. I needed to take it off and the car was not running correctly with the throttle body installed. Even though it was installed correctly, from my understanding it was a fault with the part itself. Now it might most likely just be the one I ordered, but that's the reason why you are not going to see this car running at the end of the video with the Skunk2 throttle body. If you do not want to watch this video, that is also fine. Thank you guys for watching. Okay guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you guys how to replace your throttle body and install a Skunk2 Alpha throttle body on your car. So first you're going to want to remove this air intake. Once you remove that, you should be able to remove it from that intake, that pipe right there. You can just squeeze this like this and it should come out. Loosen up the clamp that's there, and then once we do that, I'll show you what the next step is. Once you are able to remove the air intake hose, you can remove this. So you should disconnect your TPS. You should remove this hose with the clamp. I already removed the clamp, so you can just pull it off. You should remove another sensor that's on this side. You can see the connector right here. So it is right here. This is the connector for that. Not the TPS. The TPS has another connector, but this connects here to a sensor on this side. You're supposed to remove that. You should also remove these coolant hoses here. So this has one here and it has one here as well. You should remove both. Once you do that, you remove these two, you remove the two sensors, you remove this hose and the air intake, you should remove the throttle body cable. So as you can see, the throttle body cable would go under this here, and then it would go like that, and then this piece would lock into this hole right here. What you should do is basically slowly, you would turn this down like this. That should give you more room to get this out of this space right here, out of this groove, without damaging the cable. Once you do that, you should push it here. It should come out of this slot right here that you can see there's an opening for this to fit. And then once you do that, you should be able to take this out. So push it out slowly, delicately, so you don't break this wire. You don't have to put a new one in, but after that it should be okay. And then what you are going to do is, there are two 12mm nuts. So there's one here and there's one across, and there's another one down in here. You can barely see it. Let me see if I can get the camera under there. You can see it right there. That's the other one. And then what you're going to have is two 12mm bolts from here and one on this side down here as well. So as long as you crack both of those open, but you crack them loose, you should be able to remove them, and I will show you the next steps after that. Okay, so this is your throttle body here. Now what you're going to want to do is remove the sensor from this side. I'm going to show you how to install it, but basically the sensor, it even has this gasket as well. You should remove the sensor, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so once you get the original throttle removed, what you want to do is basically these two bolts that you see here. You basically want to make a slot in them so you can fit a flathead screwdriver. So you're going to try and do this while not damaging this sensor, which seems pretty hard, but if you take your time, you should be able to do that. You should be able to do that on this one. You should be able to remove the sensor and then just reattach it to the new throttle body. So that's what we're going to do now. Okay, so just so you guys have an idea what that looks like, I cut a slot into the top of the bolt. You can see it's a screw. I did that for both of them, and I was able to literally fit this flathead over it. So as you can see, this is the flathead. I was literally able to fit it over like this and turn it. And that's what you need to do. So once you do that, you remove it. You have your old or the original OEM throttle body, and you have your sensor over here. Now once you make sure you clean your sensor, there's going to be a lot of dust from the metal, so make sure you clean it. Make sure none of it gets inside the sensor. But I just want to put both of them side to side and basically measure the difference of this. So this is Skunk2 obviously, and this is the original one. So let me see if, just curious to see, but basically you can see that the Skunk2 goes over the original, so you can see that it's definitely big. Another small but very important step that you want to do is basically you have to adjust your throttle position sensor. So as you can see, this is kind of slaughtered, so you can tilt it here. You can see it gets out of the hole for the screw. So once you put the screw in, you're going to have to tilt this to the correct voltage, and the way you're going to measure that is with a multimeter. So I was able to do this with this connected to the sensor to the wiring harness installed on the car. So just how this stock throttle body is, I would just measure the voltage to this connector over here, and then you have to put them on the correct wires as well. You can look that up in the wiring diagram. But once you do that, you basically, you know, this is power, this is ground. You put it in DC voltage. I believe you put it in, let me see, it's in 2 volts. So you go to 2 volts, and you should be able to see 3 zeros. So once you measure that, that means it's going to be more accurate, and then that way you can tilt this to the correct thing. It should be 0.45. You should get the voltage reading of 0.45. So the closer you get to that reading, the better, or the closer you are to the correct idling voltage for the throttle position sensor. You also want to remove these studs because on the Alpha, on the Skunk2 throttle body, this is not going to fit. It's a bigger throttle body, so it has a bigger opening, and this is not going to fit under here. So, and with the Skunk2 throttle body, it also comes with 4 bolts to replace these studs. So you should be able to remove them. So let me see if I can do that. Okay, so in order to remove the studs, what you have to do is take both of the nuts that came in. You would put one on the reverse side. So this is basically how it was on, holding on the throttle body, and this is on the reverse. So the 2 flat sides are facing each other. Now, for me, this was more comfortable to tighten the nut on this side with this wrench, but obviously you can see until I remove them, I can't get this out of here. But that's just how I decided to do this. Once you do that, you have to tighten, in order to get these flat surfaces to mate, you have to tighten on the opposite direction. So once you get it flat, you should try to remove this slowly with the ratchet, and then you should be able to remove the stud. Okay, so in order for you to be able to remove this stud, you can see I removed this one. It's basically you put this, so it goes on this way, it goes on this way. You have to turn it around and put it on this way. So I do that. I put this wrench here just because I like to use the boxed end wrench, and this nut, it's kind of been slipping off. So before it strips, I want to get a good grip on it. Then this one, you put it on the same way it would go on normally. Try to put it on as furthest into the thread as you can, just to have space with this. And then what you're going to do is basically tighten. You're going to tighten so that the mating surfaces can come together. Once you tighten, so this, I go this way, this one I push down. My right hand I go up, left hand down. Kind of tighten it, which helps it lock into place. Once it's tight, take this box end wrench off. You should have space for it, and then you turn this to loosen. as you loosen, you should be able to break the stud loose from the intake manifold. And as you can see, because these are tight and I'm taking this off, it helps remove the stud. After you do that, you should be able to remove the stud. Now you should also remove the old gasket. Now this one is a new one. I was trying to do this before, so that's why I already installed this like yesterday. It hasn't even been a few days, so I literally installed it yesterday. But as you can see, you take the old one off and then you put the new one back on. And now we're going to install the Alpha series throttle body from Skunk2. Okay, so just to show you a quick tip, this sensor from the original throttle body, you should remove it and put it on here. You're going to need new screws. I'm going to show you how to install the sensor correctly in the Alpha series throttle body. Okay, so one quick trick that you want to do is basically, you see that slot that's in there? You're going to want to line that up with this part of the sensor, this part right here. So you are going to want to line that up first, make sure it goes into place, and then you are going to want to line up these two holes on the outside. Make sure you install it on the correct side. So this sensor facing this way, the throttle cable placement is on this side as well. So for the throttle cable to go in easier, I recommend sliding in this pin first and then sliding in the cable carefully so you don't strip it and you don't break it. But that's the best way to do it. If you do not do this first, you're going to end up taking the cable out many times and trying to do it the hard way. So try to put this in first and then put the cable where it goes.